was a proud organisation, lots of heritage, big expectations from their stakeholders, and you felt it as you walked around the organisation. But they were in trouble. They faced disruptors who were eating away at their margins, their business, and indeed their licence to operate. And yet they weren't quite sure what to do. The CEO in her quiet moments confided in me saying, we've got to do something quite different, but I don't really know where to start. So we came up with something a bit different from their typical board meeting, which, if you're honest, was a bit of a performance. Everyone came with their presentations, papers, asked some polite questions, but nothing really changed from what they were doing in their day job. So we convened them in quite a different place, not the mahogany table, but a fun place. And we said, we're going to spend half a day together to actually think about the threats, dream up some new ideas, and actually create some energy in the organisation. Well, they came along, all of the management team, and they looked polite, they looked interested, a bit anxious, and we did some simple introductions. Not about their role, not about their achievements, but as them as human beings, who they were. After all, we spend a huge amount of our day at work, don't we? And then they started the exercises, and again it was theatrical, lots of performances, people, if you like, showing off, until the CEO came over and said this: you know what, everyone, we all know we're facing a challenge. We're all facing a lot of disruption. We've got to do something different. And I today am willing to look stupid. I'm willing to be challenged. I'm willing to try some new things out. And if I get it wrong, so be it. I'm trying to create a safe environment. You could have heard a pin drop. This was a person who was highly polished, very practiced in what she did. She'd gone out there and set out her stall and showed some vulnerability. And the mood changed immediately. People literally either were stood up tall if they were standing, or when they were sitting down, shoulders back, leaning forward. And actually the whole tenor of the session changed. Sentences were shorter. They talked about what can we do rather than what can't we do. They talked about the future rather than the past. And they came up with some amazing ideas. And actually by the end of the day, came up with a short plan for the next few months as to what they needed to explore and what they needed to bring from the current organisation to the future. It was all about belief, all about momentum, about trusting each other, but it all came down to the CEO standing up there and showing some vulnerability.